meditation is about focusing on the breath or something else, but when to choose to feel the body, this distracts me from the meditation object. But when I follow my body, I have lots fear. Hey Nick Tube. I'm sure your last name isn't Tube. I have Google Translate and translators on all my browsers, so you might not be called Nick Tube. It's just the translation. So to me, meditation is something the person is doing. So if you imagine a virtual reality, it's the character in the virtual reality doing it. And the character is in the virtual reality headset is, not headset, in the virtual reality is deciding to use meditation to try and calm itself or try and find out who it is. But notice in that there is something that is watching the meditator. So there's something watching that. So in the virtual reality metaphor, like, so say if I am looking through at the character, so I am not the character, I'm looking at the character meditating. And this is what non-duality is truly about. Like, who is it that's looking at the person meditating? So meditating is about settling down the person, which I totally recommend, because when you're in lots of suffering and identification and your character is all out of sorts, then it's like there's a thick, dense fog of you. So say if I was doing the virtual reality thing, and I was looking at a character that was really immensely suffering, and I got really involved in that character's suffering and I forgot I was watching, like a really wise thing to do would be to settle the character down, and then through that you begin to see, oh, hang on, there is something that's watching the character. But when you are just really involved in the character's suffering and seeking, then it's hard for that to be settled down. So you could say, like, seeking keeps the character very busy. And what is seeking? Seeking is looking for home in the next experience. So looking for it in the meditation results, looking for it in this talk, looking for it in doing all these things. I'm not saying don't do these things. So I think it's wise to meditate, and I recommend putting the attention in the I am, or the empty looking, whichever suits you. So putting your attention back here, I am. But knowing that there is something that's watching the person doing that. There's something that is watching the person doing that. In more traditional ways of teaching, they would say that when you put your attention in the I am, the person disappears in a way. And you can kind of get a taste of that. It's like as it begins to go out of the seeking and the craziness of itself, and it comes back to the I am, when it's not really strong or there's not really like hurricanes of emotions, then you can, there is like a more sense of this love. And when that love is sensed, it's like there's less character, so there's more ability for there to be a connection to what you are. But anything that is being experienced is not what's being talked about. So you also went on to say that when you go into the body, there is lots of fear. So yeah, so another way of meditating, so I am recommending putting the attention in the I am, but another way is doing breath work. Another is by doing bodily meditation. So I used to do Vipassana, where you went through every inch of your body, up and down, up and down. So there's different forms of meditation. And you're saying you're experiencing lots of fear. So this is me guiding you on the human level, but this isn't about you getting enlightened or you getting to something, or you getting too consciousness, because anything that's being experienced isn't consciousness, but I'm trying to help you settle that person down. So my recommendation is as well as doing the breath work, so I wouldn't mix up the two, I would do some bodily exercises. Osho is great for body work, for meditations that are more bodily orientated and becoming aware of the body. So you can go onto my reference page on my website. And you maybe could also do a one-to-one session with someone and explore the root of that fear, like why fear is arising when you meditate. But it's maybe not best to try and mix up the meditation exercises. If you're doing one where it's sticking to the breath, stick to the breath. But the question is, who is looking at that? That's what non-duality really is. Who is looking at that? This can sometimes be disparaging to the person, and the person then thinks, oh, what's the point in meditating? What's the point in doing these exercises? And no, your life can be so much better on the human level if you do these things, and it can reduce so much of the seeking. And then there's another possibility can be seen, but the shift is grace. We don't know why that happens, but it's grace. So you just give that to grace. In a way, everything's grace, but you can't say everything at once, can you? Thanks, Nick.